What's up, football fans? Welcome into NFL Daily by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And on the show, we got a doozy for you. Dane Brugler dropped his yearly The Beast. Now, we're going to talk about what The Beast is, but basically, it's a comprehensive NFL draft guide for all players, big, small. It's gigantic. This PDF is more than 100 pages long, and it is a doozy. So that's exactly what we're going to do on today's show. We're going to break down his big board, all of the top players, at least the top 50, that he claims are the best in the 2025 NFL Draft. And speaking of the NFL Draft, if you love free draft content, we don't charge you a single thing here at Chat Sports. Make sure you lock us in, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, it's free. Like the video and share this with a friend for more of your favorite NFL content. Let's just jump right in, shall we? His top 10 on the big board. Number 1, Travis Hunter. No real surprise there. Followed by Abdul Carter, Ashton Genty at number 3. Mason Graham, Jalen Walker, Will Campbell, Armin Membu, Tyler Warren, Shamar Stewart at 9 is kind of surprising, and number 10. Now, it should be noted, this is not where he has people going. It's just his top players in the draft this year. And my favorite from this list, and my favorite overall in the entire draft, is a guy named Mike Green. If you haven't heard of him, I'm sure you have by now, but if you haven't heard of him, he played at Marshall last year, and he is the closest thing to video game-like numbers that I have ever seen from a player. I mean, these are insane statistics from 2024. Just take a look at it. 81 tackles, 23 tackles for loss, 17 sacks, and 60 pressures. So essentially, every time this guy steps foot on the football field and he's going after the quarterback, he's pretty much either getting to the quarterback and making his life miserable, or he's sacking him. So Mike Green, I think, honestly, he's one of these players that if I were to give him a comp, it's Khalil Mack. And I didn't think that at first. I thought he was a lot smaller than Khalil Mack. But the truth is, he's almost the exact same size. He's got the same measurables as Khalil Mack. And if you don't believe me, let's take a look at their pre-draft comparison. Khalil Mack from Buffalo University and Mike Green from Marshall. Both 6'3", both 251. Green's actually a little bit faster in his 3-cone drill. Now, Green had 17 sacks, whereas Khalil Mack only had 10.5, and they both played in much weaker conferences. So if we're looking at the similarities of these two, they're almost spot on. And I guess you could say Green is kind of like a speedier prototype than Khalil Mack. I am so high on Mike Green. I cannot wait to see where his career goes from here. I think he's going to end up as an Atlanta Falcon. Maybe he goes a little bit higher than that. They pick at 15. But I'm going to ask you this because I've already answered the question. My favorite player is Mike Green, but who is your favorite prospect in this year's draft? I'm going to make this the pinned comment of today's video. I want to see as many replies to this comment as possible, and then we will move on to 11 through 20. Here's what it looks like from Dane Brugler. Colson Loveland at 11, Tet McMillan at 12, Cam Ward, who we're going to get to in just a second, followed by Jihad Campbell, Matthew Golden, Derek Harmon, Will Johnson at 18, Malachi Starks, and Josh Simmons rounding out that top 20. Now, this is where my first real big issue lies. Cam Ward at 13, and he's going to go number 1 overall. We do realize that, right? Like, the Titans have canceled their workouts with Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. They're not meeting with them anymore, which basically locks up the assumption that Cam Ward is going to be a Tennessee Titan. And my issue is not that he is so low on the list, but the fact that he's so low and going to be a number 1 overall pick. You can't have both at the same time. That's incongruous to me. Look at his college career. He was unbelievable his last season at Miami. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as Caleb Williams was last year, Drake May, or even Jaden Daniels. However, there's no way he's the 13th best player in this year's draft. You can't go number 1 overall and be outside of the top 10. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, Could you say he's closer to 10 than he is to 1? Sure. I don't think that's a crazy take. But to have him at 13, I realize this year's draft class for quarterbacks isn't very high. You can't have a number 1 overall pick or future number 1 overall pick at 13. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'd have him closer to 7 or 8, but that's just my take. Moving on to 21 through 30, Mykel Williams, followed by Donovan Ezeraku, the edge out of Boston College. He has climbed way up on people's boards. Josh Connerly, Tyler Booker, Kenneth Grant, Kelvin Banks Jr., Luther Burden III, Omarion Hampton, and Jahdae Barron. Now, one of these players in here, in my opinion, is a sleeper pick. Mr. Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. Now, this year's offensive line class is deep. It's not the most talented we've ever seen. But I feel like Booker does not get nearly the love that he should. We're talking about a guy who not single-handedly, but was one of the main factors for how good Jalen Milroe's running game was at Alabama. And he's a quarterback. So let's just go over his 2024 PFF grades. Again, not the holy Bible, not the holy grail of how we determine a player's worth, but it is a good indicator of how they performed in a single season, especially for offensive linemen. He was a much better pass-blocking guard than he was a run-blocking guard. So I feel like when you get him in the right system, you will absolutely see Tyler Booker be a Pro Bowl level guard in the NFL. I'm 100% certain of that. I think he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the athleticism to be an unbelievable pro at the next level. And let's be clear, learning how to run block is easier because it's pushing forward rather than moving side to side. So if you can put on a little bit more strength, if you could put on maybe just a little bit more size, you can absolutely improve your run blocking grade as an offensive lineman. I love Booker. Now coming up, picks 31 through 50 of Brugler's big board. However, we do have to give a massive shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app and create your account today. It is so unbelievably simple. Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the actual event. It's not just sporting events, though. It's concerts. It's comedy events. Anything that has a huge type of atmosphere, you can get with Game Time. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest prices guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets, and the MLB has started up. So if you want to go to a baseball game with your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family members, it doesn't matter. You can do it over at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. All right, so 31 through 40 kind of looks like this as we speak. Now, again, Walter Nolan coming in at 31. These are all guys that are going to be first-round picks. Well, maybe not Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor comes in at 33. Shedeur Sanders falls all the way to 34 on Brugler's big board. James Pierce Jr., Ariante Ursary, Carson Schweisinger, and Trey Amos at 39, with Tylik Williams coming in at number 40. I do want to highlight one name here as well, Maxwell Hairston, the cornerback out of Kentucky. Now, he had an injury in his last season, so he didn't get a ton of production in 2024. However, he is fully healed from it, and he showed out at the Combine. Dude ran a 4.29 at the Combine. But let's just take a look at how he did on the field at Kentucky. 2023 is the kind of place where you have to start looking. 68 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, so he could get a little bit better in the run-stopping game. But 11 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. He's one of those players that excels in zone coverage, which is what the NFL is translating over to. So when you get an incredibly fast wide receiver like Hairston, who's got great zone skill coverages, you're automatically putting him in the best position to succeed at the next level. If he could put on a little weight because he is slight for the position, I think you can see him do a lot better in terms of like press coverage. So off the line of scrimmage, if a wide receiver decides, hey, I'm going to try and bully this kid, you need an extra 5 to 10 pounds to stand your ground, plant your feet, and keep that wide receiver in front of you. But like I said, he ran a 4.29. Now, the 40-yard dash is not like the end-all, be-all, but it does give you a good indication for a cornerback at least of how athletic this guy is. He can keep up with the very fastest of them outside of maybe Tyreek Hill. So I love Hairston as a prospect. I think he's going to go somewhere between 20 and 28. Look out for the Vikings to possibly select him. I know they've got their eyes on a cornerback. So Maxwell Hairston, I'm very interested to see where he's going to end up in his NFL career. All right, we're almost done with today's video. So if you've made it this far, do me a favor, type real one down below. Why not? Come on, man. You're a real football fan. I know you were keeping up with this entire video, and I appreciate it. So type real one in the comment section below. Wrapping up our big board for Mr. Dane Brugler, Elijah Arroyo, the tight end out of Miami, followed by Jaylen Noel, Caleb Johnson, Jayden Higgins, Jackson Dart, Donovan Jackson, Landon Jackson, Travion Henderson, and Tyler Shug at number 50. Again, one last player from this group that I kind of want to highlight, and another sleeper pick, in my opinion. Whoever lands Jayden Higgins is going to get a solidified number one wide receiver. I'm staking my claim in it right now. This dude has got the measurables. He's got the athleticism. He's got the route running capabilities. His route tree is so deep. He's got speed. He's got height. He's got everything that you want and was productive as hell. Every single season got better at Iowa State. Just take a look. He was just rapidly increasing, which culminated in an unbelievable senior season at Iowa State. 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, only 2 drops. I love Jayden Higgins. It's not the deepest wide receiver class, and I feel like because the guys at the top are not nearly as good as they should be, or as we've seen in recent years, that kind of soils all the wide receivers that are coming in this year's draft. But make no mistake, Jayden Higgins is he's in my top 3 for wide receivers in this year's draft. And whoever ends up with him, he's going to mold into a number 1 wide receiver. I can pretty much count on it. That's going to do it for us in today's video. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with a friend. My name is Moose. Until next time, be cool.